The mayor also gave Tom Hoving, he cut him some political freedom. When Mayor Lindsay's seat was vacated, a city councilman, Kupferman, was elected to his congressional seat, and a man named Kingman was appointed to the council seat. Ed Koch ran for that seat, the council seat, in 1966, and he had, on the day before the election, he, a Democratic district leader, had endorsed John Lindsay, the Republican, for mayor. That was unheard of at the time, and that was really the base of Ed Koch's political career, because he got support he would never have gotten otherwise. I know, I was there. Anyway, Lindsay was not the sort of person to reciprocate, and he, for the council race, endorsed Kingman, the Republican organization candidate. But Tom Hoving endorsed Ed Koch. It made Koch a lifelong enemy of Lindsay and friend of Hoving. That's the way it is with Koch. Now, so he's commissioner and he's free. And he did all kinds of good things, which we'll talk about. Unfortunately, his tenure was cut short because of the tragic and unexpected death of James Rorimer. We assumed that Tom would be there for the 4 years of, we hope, would be Mayor Lindsay's first term, and after that he'd go back or run for public office, because he was an exciting personality, which you have very few of then and none now. So this was a man that could have, it's not he could have been a contender, he could have gone all the way. And we were rooting for him to do that as his posse. At any rate, the Met directorship was the thing he wanted all his life. And although he wasn't ready and he hadn't finished his work at Parks, who can resist? They might have appointed Philippe, and the position would not have been vacant for another 32 years. What was the man to do? And he took the opportunity and left us all too soon. He was a dynamic, popular public figure. I got in because the people whom he picked knew me and recommended me to be his executive director or first deputy commissioner. See, Moses never gave anyone else in the agency the title of commissioner, even deputy or assistant. Every other agency had a raft of them, you know, like commissioner. Commissioner was anyone who had a city car. But Moses was very sparing, and his number 2 man, he called the executive officer, as if he were still on a ship. And I came in and didn't want to make, you know, I knew no more commissioners. I didn't want to violate the Moses rule. What can I be? We already had an executive officer. I thought of executive director. So there would be a, something to call me. And I did that for a year. My strongest single recollection, and Tom concentrated on program, new things, the world, the city. I was kind of the inside person who made the enemies that had to be accumulated. That was why he had me. He didn't hire me because I was rich and famous. He hired me to do certain kinds of jobs. Now, my strongest recollection of that year is lying on a rug on the living room of his apartment at 73rd Street, which we did a lot of evenings after we finished. Well, no, they didn't. I lay on the rug myself. The people sat around in chairs. He took his senior staff home with him. And of course, I vividly remember Nancy. Treya as well. Treya was 8. But Nancy was a grown-up. And he was, Treya was, they were both participants in the event. And thought that this was just a wonderful place to be. And my job was so nice and so absorbing that I could do it in the evenings in the company of not only my boss, but his family. What a wonderful job. Now, Tom became known for, of course, his happenings, which people have talked about, which Phyllis Yampolsky helped the plan, and for opening up the parks to large numbers of people. He revolutionized the agency. He appointed the first black official at Parks, Courtney Callender, who later became Deputy Commissioner for Cultural Affairs, and Clyde Jones, who was promoted from the ranks. Speaking in 2010, it's hard to reconstruct what Tom found in 1966 when he came to the Arsenal. But it was a lot different when he left 16 months later. The same kind of renaissance that he brought to the museum, he brought to Parks in a much shorter time. In my own 40 years of working for the city in 7 agencies, holding elective office twice as a city council member, a deputy commissioner, Bess Meyerson in consumer affairs, Parks, city administrator. I had all these things. I was hired, I was fired, I was declared unconstitutional, but thankfully they were all in the same pension plan. I could retire. That's it. But in my 40 years, I never had the year that I had with Tom. It stands out as the year I learned the most. I thank him for having chosen me. I will never forget his kindness, which he shared with me even in the last year. I'm so much better for having known him, and I appreciate his wonderful memory and his great family. Thank you.